happy Flashback Friday and happy Cinco de Mayo. I am here today. My little Frida Kahlo wife is sitting front and center celebrating the holiday. She's got her little chihuahua and her little Siamese kitty that's representative of my little baby. She's got her little monkey, and we have some wonderful little Mexican folk art things here to help us along with the display. I am going to touch on something today for a combination Cinco de Mayo and a Flashback Friday. And however, my Dolly channel is primarily for adult doll collectors. And I know sometimes moms or dads have kids in the room with them that like to watch along. But I'm going to start out with this disclaimer and stating that this subject matter coming up is not for children. So if there are little children in the room or close by, you might want to redirect them. I am going to talk about a Flashback Friday and, as I said, a little Cinco de Mayo little information here, mostly about Mexican folk art as it is Cinco de Mayo, and a little bit of Flashback Friday and how this ties in. So without further ado, let me introduce to you. This is a very old doll that I've had in my collection, in my own personal collection. I bought her from a mercado, a Mexican street market, about 30 years ago. And at the time, she was like high color, beautiful. You could see she's got some jewelry. She's got her hair in a little ponytail there. She's in green. She's wearing this little lingerie type outfit here. She's got her high heels on, which at the time were really a pretty bright pink. And you could see here, I will get into this, there's a name across her waist here that says Mari. And she's got some jewelry on and some heavy makeup. And this is what is known as a Mexican prostitute doll. Yes, you heard me right. She is a Mexican prostitute doll. Sometimes they refer to her as a Lupita, which is a little girl version name of Guadalupe. But, you know, there are several things we could say about these Lupita dolls, or these brothel dolls, or these, there's another word that I don't even like using in Spanish, which translates to whore. It's called puta. They call them a puta doll, which is really not one that I like. I prefer, Mexican prostitute doll. Well, and how this came to be is this. These dolls first came into being in Mexico about 200 years ago or so. And porcelain was very expensive, so they would make these paper mache. They call them muñecas de cartón. And, or sometimes they're known as cartoneria dolls, which basically translates to like a cardboard or carton doll. And it is a very strong, it's like a paper mache, but really a lot stronger than a paper mache, and they're a strong doll. And there are a lot of people that have a lot of information on these dolls. I know at the time that I bought her, I was already, older. I remember going into the market as a kid and seeing them and always being intrigued by them because they were high color and they had different color hair and different makeup and different jewelry. And, mine is really faded over 30 years time here. So, yeah, I mean, these dolls, and now they're so highly collectible. I saw a little pair go on WorthPoint for over $400 when you could get these at the market in Mexico for a song. And they came in different sizes and everything. And because porcelain was expensive, they would give little cartoneria dolls like this to their children, and it was their version of their little brews or their, little dolls, as we would say, that they would dress up and keep. But really, between 1920 and 30, you would find these Lupita dolls, these, Mexican prostitute dolls, in the red light district, in the brothels. And that came into being because the women, as opposed to having them hang out the windows the women of the night, or the prostitutes, or the putanas, however you want to call them, they would dress up their dolls. They would have these little dolls made up to look like them, hence the name Mari here on her waist. And that would signify which call girl was available in the brothel that evening. They would put, instead of hanging out of the windows, the actual women, they would have these dolls sitting outside of the brothel in their windows, in their respective rooms where you would go and visit with them. And you would know who was available that night or that hour, or who you would expect to find in that particular room. According to the little doll, their clientele would know who it was, and by looking at the little name there, they would know, okay, this person is in that room and she's available and waiting for me. There's a wonderful museum of popular arts in Colima, Mexico, and they have a beautiful collection of these Lupita dolls, these Putana dolls, whatever you want to call them. And they go into about how these dolls were found in brothels in the red light district and all of that. There's also tell of that I guess this still happens too, where a wife would find out that her husband was cheating or had a side piece, or whatever you want to call it, and she would find out that her husband was doing something with somebody he shouldn't be doing, and they would go and they would purchase from the mercado, or maybe even from one of the brothels themselves, the Lupita doll, and they would have the name that was their husband's mistress or who they were cheating with. And so they would have it sitting on the front porch or waiting for them in the living room or the parlor when they came home. And the husband would know, hey, I'm on to you. The wife knows what's up. She's got your, little side piece name here. She knows who you've been seeing and spending time with. And that was an indicator to the man that, I got your number. I know what time it is. You better think about what you want to say. So anyway, I loved these dolls for the art. I mean, they as I say, my girl's a little old and a little faded, but I just loved these dolls, really, even at the time, not knowing. I can remember, my mother never wanted to buy me these dolls, and now I know why. It wasn't until I was older and able to buy it for myself, and I really still didn't even understand the folklore behind the doll, the history behind the doll. I just knew that I loved them and they appealed to me. And now as a collector, a doll collector, and understanding a little bit more about the history of these dolls, I really find it intriguing that these ladies of the night would have a doll made up of themselves, for themselves, and how neat that is that these call girls, these ladies, would have their own doll. And that just goes to show you how dolls play an important role in history, in our lives, and another way that dolls really, complete many circles. And, say what you will about dolls, say what you will about this particular type of doll, but she's collected now for very, very many reasons. And if you're just a lover of Mexican folk art, or like I say, the artisans that make these dolls, a lot of work goes into these dolls. I'll have to put some photos, insert some photos at the end, so you can see some of the dolls and how high color they are. And, I haven't been able to go back to Mexico, to the mercado, for a while, but I would love to. And I would actually love to purchase more of these dolls and add more of these dolls to my collection, because I really do love them. You will see them now. They come out in April or the spring, and I think that's no coincidence. Spring rebirth, a lot of bunny stuff going on in spring. You see them at Carnival a lot. They, the Mexican version of Carnival, or our own, we also have them at carnivals, we have a lot of fiestas and things like that. And you can find them at fiestas and carnivals and things like that. But also, these are still something that you would see in the red light district, in the brothels, in the museums. And so I love this doll. I love the history behind this doll. And I think it's a lot better than seeing some, naked lady hanging out the window trying to call her male friends in by just having a sweet little doll hanging outside of her window so that she's available. And I think my friend Frida Kahlo, she had some of these friends in her respective circle of friends. So it's nice that these two girls are here and can appreciate one another. Anyway, I'm going to probably open up a nice ice cold Corona or a Modelo and maybe have some salsa and chips and start enjoying this beautiful day. We have a lovely, gorgeous, sunny day here, very apropos for the holiday. So I'm going to wish you a wonderful Flashback Friday. Please go visit the other channels. There are so many Dolly channels out there that are enjoying and partaking in the tag Flashback Friday. So many beautiful dolls, so much rich history and information that these Dolly channels are bringing about their collection and their flashback dolls, their childhood dolls, things that they love or always wanted, or perhaps a dolly that they had in their collection and they had to go back out and look for and find. That's always a wonderful thing if you had a doll from your childhood and perhaps mom threw it out or the dog ate it. I do have one of those coming up. And you've resuscitated it, you've breathed new life into it, or you found it on the secondary market. That's a great way to join in the tag. And as I say, please go visit the other channels. I appreciate you. I can't tell you how much joy it brings to me to go and watch the comments and respond. And I appreciate it so very much. So with that, I'm going to wish you all a happy weekend and have a blessed day, my friends. Talk to you and see you real soon. Bye.